Hey everyone, this is DungeonRPG. I hope everyone's had a peaceful and joyful year in 2016. And today is the first day of 2017. I would like to wish everyone here a happy new year. If you're expecting one of those year-end video game roundup videos I've been doing since 2011, where I talk about my gaming experience of the year and some of the new pickups, you've come to the right place. So this video I'll be breaking it into different segments, talking very briefly about what happened to my channel and what you can expect in the future, some of the loose ends from last year, some of the notable games and platinums I got, and of course some of the highlights of pickups from this year. As you might know that towards the end of 2015, that's when I lost my main channel DungeonRPG, which was quite a major event for me since that channel contains all of my work for the last 5 years in a total of about 500 videos. And to this day, I was not able to get back that channel. But fortunately, I still have this one, which is my original channel that I started in 2006. I was able to come back to this and kept making uploading videos. And over the year, I did get some of my audience back, which I'm quite thankful of. And looking back on this year, I actually made and uploaded a total of around 120 videos, including complete playthroughs of a couple of games, which myself I was quite pleasantly surprised by how productive I was, in spite of my channel taking in a kind of a different direction compared to before. In terms of some of the loose ends from 2015, I definitely want to just briefly mention Stella Glow again. This was an Image Epoch RPG that I got at the end of 2015. It's the spirit sequel / swan song of the Luminous Arc series that was thriving on Nintendo DS originally. When I first got this game, I just couldn't put it down, and I kept playing until I finished the story in its entirety. It has a beautiful, well-written, heart-clenching story. The English voice acting of this game is also excellent, despite being an entirely different style from the original Japanese voice cast. This is the early buyer's version that also contained a vocal track CD and a key charm of the mascot. And of course I have the poster of Hilda there on my wall. If you're an RPG fan that like the fantasy storytelling, you definitely check out Stella Glow. You won't be disappointed. Pokemon Rumble World. This is another remarkable game that I started in 2015 and continue to play throughout the year. This is actually a free-to-play title of a game in the style of the Pokemon Rumble series, but it's actually very playable without you buying any of the microtransactions. You can see here I spent a total of 238 hours into this game, which is just ridiculous. But I've actually managed to complete the entire game and capture each Pokemon species without having to pay a penny. So I would definitely say this is a good example of how to make a free-to-play game that's actually enjoyable without spending countless amount of money into microtransactions. And I actually did get the packaged retail version of this game that came out this year that essentially it's like a buyout version that removes the microtransaction feature. It's just one of those lovely pick up and play fun game that's not serious. Alright, so for games that I platinumed, and just going through my PSN profile, I've actually gotten 5 platinums this year, which is actually my record. You can see last year I've got Atelier Rorona and Extreme vs. Full Boost, and that's it. And this year there's Battle Princess of Arcadias, which is again PSN only game, so I can't really show you guys the package. Seiya Brave Soldiers, Shining Resonance, and Atelier Rorona, and Odin Sphere remake. That brings the total number to 17. And I'm actually currently working on finishing Tales of Graces. I went back early this year and finished Saint Seiya Brave Soldier. It's that 3D fighters from Saint Seiya. You can check out a post on the internet somewhere if you really want to know how much I'm into Saint Seiya, but yeah, that's that. I also finished Shining Resonance, and of course the later games of the Shining series is famous for that beautiful Tony Taka character design and artwork. This is actually quite a beautiful and relaxing game to enjoy. I wouldn't say any part of the system is unpolished, and you can tell as you play through the game, whether it's between all the side quests and how they portray each character development, as well as all the relationship events, you can tell they actually put a lot of thoughts and polish into the game. But just for some reason, I just didn't feel that there was really anything that's special that sets this game apart from the other RPGs I played in recent years. Compared to games like Shining Wind, I just felt that this game is perhaps lacking a little bit of soul. But nonetheless, it was a fun experience and a worthwhile platinum. And I don't know just how many more times I need to keep talking about Atelier Rorona. As you might remember that the English version of Atelier Rorona was my first ever PlayStation 3 game that I got back in 2011. Also one of my first platinums. I got the Japanese re-release back in I think 2012. I finally went back and finished and got platinum on Atelier Rorona once more. I cannot tell you guys enough of my love about this game and how it still has the best storytelling and character development of all the Atelier games since. In terms of playthrough, I actually got platinum on my first playthrough of this game, so it is possible. So put together was the 2 playthrough that I got platinum for the English version. I've played Atelier Rorona 3 times in its entirety already. And I might consider getting that remake and finish that one too. Another game that I finished platinum earlier this year is Princess of Arcadias. It was a full retail game when it was published by Nippon Ichi in Japan, but when NS America published it here, it was only a PSN only download, so I don't have the physical game to show you guys. I got this game when it was on sale at the end of 2015 on PSN. Ended up playing through the whole game and finishing it early this year. It's actually a horizontal scroll action game with a lot of quirky fun character and interesting storytelling. The combat and weapon collection system of this game is really fun, but I find that unfortunately it is very obviously an unfinished game. You can tell that they curtailed the end of the story and the plot pretty much just finished abruptly, which is a regret since I actually really like the game and its characters. But nonetheless, it was a good platinum. And now it's into the new games I got in summer of this year. It's Odin Sphere Lefthrasir. I also have to pre-order our book, which was the one that I was flipping through at the beginning. It's a really beautiful book. I never played the original Odin Sphere on PlayStation 2, but in this game, they streamlined many parts of the system to make it a lot less grindy, which is definitely a welcome change, I would say. I put this game in on day 1 and just never left my PS3 until I finished each character's story and got the platinum. That's how much this game's story gripped me. Like all these memorable characters, Princess Gwyndolin, Oswald, Velvet, Cornelius and Mercedes, just going through this mythical Norse adventure. Definitely an epic story and game in every sense of the word. Even though it's not a seamless story, like there's some overlaps between the boss fights for each character, but overall at the end when everything comes together, it just makes so much sense. And you will really feel for the game's characters, especially Oswald and Gwendolyn. It's one of those niche titles, so it'll probably end up going on sale soon, so definitely keep an eye out for this and pick it up if you get a chance. Just an interlude, I got this nice cigarette case. Oh no, it's actually a Nintendo DS cartridge case to store some of my old Pokemon games. It can hold up to 8 Nintendo DS cartridges, or 2 Game Boy Advance cartridges, or 4 DS and 1 GBA card. It's just kind of neat. There's actually a Mew version as well. More of the package games, I got Chibi-Robo Ziplash. That includes the really cute Chibi-Robo amiibo. I haven't played too much of this game yet, but I really enjoyed the first world, which I managed to finish. I get most of the collections and achievements. Chibi-Robo! I got a new 3DS, which is this is the smaller non-XL one, which has pretty much become my main go-to system now for my physical Japanese 3DS games. This is just really comfortable for me because I have these tiny hands, as you guys know. And as I show you guys in an unboxing video, here's the guidebook package of Rune Factory 4, which was re-released this April. No need to tell you guys how much I love Rune Factory. I've clocked about 40 hours into this game and I've only about a third of my way through the stories, but this is definitely on my to-do list for the upcoming year. It's Rune Factory. Miranai Majo to Moco Moco Friends. This game is something that I really wanted ever since the demo came out last year, and I believe Exceed actually localized this so you can play it in English as well. Really cute monster Muppet collecting game with a 3-on-3 turn-based battle system for the RPG part of it. So that's, in that aspect, it's really similar to Digimon. This actually contains a colorful instruction sheet, which is something we don't get that often these days. Just look at this, so cute. It's pretty easy to tell that initially the game was developed perhaps as a mobile title, not as a standalone console title, as there's things like a timer for some of the dungeons, there's daily login bonus, a timer for crafting some of the materials, the pet food system where you feed weaker monsters to strengthen your stronger monsters, also a gacha system to get in your equipment and the items you use to evolve your monsters and unlock their abilities. But also as a standalone game, it works surprisingly well. Really fun, interesting game that I'll be finishing for sure. Monster Strike, what can I say about this? A mobile title turned console game, I guess. I think whether you like it or not, we're going to be seeing more and more games that are in this style lately. Because let's be honest, a large part of the gaming market has shifted to mobile and smart devices, because that's really where the money is now. This game battles with a really simple paintball system where you smash your monsters into the enemies. And of course, the gacha and the pet food system. That's how you strengthen your characters and units. I do believe the RPG story elements are unique to the 3DS version, which actually has a pretty interesting story. Unfortunately though, I'll have to be honest and say that the gameplay is actually really bare bone. Like I played this game all the way up to chapter 5 and got a pretty good idea of how the game mechanic works. Because this is a used copy, I actually loaded up one of the existing saves, and the previous owner of this game already got to chapter 12 and 13, and I just picked up and played from there. And it's essentially the same game as where I left off, but instead you just have stronger enemies and stronger characters that you built up with the same old mobile gacha pet food system, which is kind of disappointing in that sense. But hey, this might be the game for you if you're into that kind of stuff. And of course, Pokemon Rumble World, みんなのポケモンスクランブル. And the other physical new games I got this year are Pokemon Sun and Moon. Here's the Japanese Sun and the English Moon. And I finished the playthrough of this, but apart from that, I didn't delve into too much. The actual main story of the game is entirely new and a breakthrough from the traditional Pokemon formula of fighting gyms and the Elite Four. How you venture through the different islands is something that's entirely new and I would say totally welcome. But if you're going to be serious at going to competitive and battling, unfortunately this is still the exact same game that you played since 2006-2007 with Diamond and Pearl. How the competitive metagame and battle hasn't changed one bit, so I think I'll still play competitive a little bit, but to be quite honest, I'm getting a little tired of that. But if you're more or less a casual player, just wanted to see the new creatures and enjoy the story, this is definitely the game for you. Now I really want to talk about this older game, Rune, on the Gamecube from Software. This is known as Lost Kingdom when it came out in North America, and From Software is infamous for the notorious difficulty of their games, and this as an action fantasy card battle game is no exception. So you're this princess that discovers this artifacts and has the ability to summon the creatures that are sealed into cards to fight other monsters, and as you defeat other monsters, your cards actually gain experience and level up and can become stronger monsters, where you can transform your cards into completely different types of monsters. So rather than a collectible card game, this is actually it's an RPG with upgradable characters that has a card illustration, so to speak. I played about 10 hours and gotten about halfway through the game, and probably most of the dungeons and boss I played at least twice to beat. So this game is definitely not a cakewalk, and there's definitely a learning curve to just about everything you do. And I think that's what made it really fun and rewarding for me. And in terms of replays of older games, I definitely have to mention Ace 3 The Final again. And you can see my live stream playthrough of this game on my channel. So much super robo action, and definitely a game ahead of its time on the PlayStation 2. And once again from Software. Jeez. Such a stress-relieving action game. It really helps out if you know as many of the different franchises that are featured in this game as possible. Like, I'm really only familiar with Gundam Seed, Gundam X, Macross Plus, Char's Counterattack, and in terms of Martian's successor Nadeshiko and Eureka 7, I hardly know anything about that. That's why I'm missing out on a lot of the game. But nevertheless, it was really fun to play this on stream. Overall, I've actually bought a lot less stuff this year, whether it's video game or hobby related, just because that my model shelves are pretty full, and my video game shelves are just stacked and stacked. So I've been pretty picky and conservative about getting new and physical games. I did buy a number of digital games on eShop. Here's Mighty Switch Force, Mighty Switch Force 2 by Way Forward. Also played and finished Rune. It's like this .R style, really retro RPG game like the E series, where you just walk in enemies and kill them, with lots of interesting puzzles to solve. Gardening Mama's 2 for its friends was wonderful. I played this game so much. I think I got this on sale for $5 on eShop. Mashin Shoujo Legend of Dark Witch. It's this super hard platformer. Like, all the bosses are just insanely difficult from the get-go. I haven't been able to get far into this game at all. Adventure Bar Story is one of Fly Hide's RPG Maker games. So is Mercenaries Saga 2. The first one I believe was mobile only. It was like before the time of smartphone. It was on like one of the Docomo systems. And Mercenary Sagas 2 is a mobile port to a 3DS console. It's a strategy RPG / battle chess type of game. It's nothing like Final Fantasy Tactics, but still it's pretty fun, controlling different characters and managing all the classes and builds and things like that. The story is about average though, but it's definitely worth the $5 if you want to pick it up. And now onto my Japanese 3DS. And there's Kororoke no Mori, poitto. That strategy development game with a paintball style gameplay. I actually briefly showed this in an impressions video. A beautiful fun game with really nice looking character sprites. And who didn't know, as a download title, this is actually my Game of the Year contender, Blue Gunvolt Sou. And this is also developed by Inti Creates, which is the studio behind the Mega Man Zero series, as a sequel to the initial Gunvolt game. I think this came out at the end of August, beginning of September. After I got it, I just played it non-stop until I finished all of the character quests to 100% for both Gunvolt and Akira. It's both beginners friendly and provides a serious challenge for any of the hardcore platformer players. Top-notch story comparable to any of the main Mega Man Zero games. And I would definitely say the music soundtrack of this game is the highlight. And this actually has a limited edition physical package version, and for those reasons that I just mentioned, I didn't end up getting the physical version. I'm quite surprised not a lot of people is talking about this game, and I think it pretty much just flew under a lot of people's radar, which is a shame because it's a great game. Battle of Elemental Reboost is just a third-person action game and a sequel of the original title on DSiWare. This is actually really difficult to play as a third-person game without Z-targeting. Just trying to imagine just locking on your opponents is a nightmare in this game, so I haven't gotten very far. So yeah, that's kind of the year 2016 for me in a nutshell. Even though I just finished my master's and started a new job working full-time this year, I've actually played a ton of games and had a lot of really memorable experience with video game masterpieces such as Odin Sphere. And here I would like to give thanks to everyone that have come back to my revived channel and continue to watch my videos and support me this year. And as for the future, I'll definitely keep on playing different games and sharing my thoughts and impressions on what games that I find interesting. If you guys have any questions or suggestions about what you'd like to see on DungeonRPG in the future, whether you'd like to see more tutorials, video games reviews, pickups, or even doing Q&A, and for me to talk about more of the other things that I do other than Pokemon trading card game and video games, I'm definitely open to any suggestions. Like always, thank you so much for watching, and I wish everyone a wonderful 2017. I'll see you soon in another video. Take care.